Okay, good morning guys. I welcome you to this video tutorial. By the end of this video tutorial, we'll get to know properties of entropy. I'm your Benak Patel and let's get started. As in our previous class, we have already been through mathematical derivation of entropy as well as problems related to entropy. In this class, let's go through properties of entropy. The very first property of entropy is a continuous function of probability. Now let's see what does this statement actually mean, and that too entropy h of s. We usually denote entropy of a source as h of s, and this is a continuous function of probability. Probability is represented as p. Now before we get to know more about this property, let's have an idea of this continuous function. So what do you mean by continuous function? So how do you say that whether a function is continuous or not? So let me consider two graphs. So let me draw my y-axis and this is my x-axis. In a similar way, let me draw one more diagram of y-axis and this is x-axis. Now for my plot 1, let's say I have got a function that which is like this. I'm having two curves over here that which are from this point to this point it's continuous, but whereas from here to here there is a gap. So thereby what I can conclude is this function, whatever mathematical function using which I have got these kinds of plot, what I can conclude is this function is not continuous. Let me think of a one more curve in my plot number 2. So again I am having some function. Need not to go in detail with this function, but let's assume that I have got this curve because of some function on my xy axis. Now just by looking at this graph, I can clearly make out that there is no cuts in this curve, or in other words, all I can say is this function is a continuous function. That's the basis for this property. Right now, in order to know more about this, let me think of a binary source. By now, we already know what a binary source is all about. So binary source is something that which emits only two symbols. So let's assume that binary source alphabet M contains only two symbols S0 and S1. Now, if the probability of emission of, let's say, symbol S0 as well as probability of emission of symbol S1, if it is uncertain, probability of any uncertain event is given as equal to 0. So then what will be its entropy? So its entropy will be summation I starting from 1 to m pi log to the base 2 1 by pi. In this formula, if I substitute the value of pi, that which is equal to 0 in both the cases, I'll end up in h of s equal to 0. So thereby, for an uncertain event, or in other words, for an impossible event, P equal to 0, its entropy will also be equal to 0. Entropy here in the sense the information conveyed by that source is equal to 0. So no information is conveyed by an impossible event. In a similar way, let me consider certain event or a sure event that which is supposed to happen. Probability of S0 will be equal to 1 or probability of S1 will be equal to 1, and not both, because by now we already know that if I summate pk all the probabilities, I should end up with 1. So thereby for my starting case, if p of s0 is equal to 1, then obviously p of s1 should be equal to 0. So in this case, p of s1 should be equal to 0, or here in this case, that is my second case, if p of s1 is equal to 1, if it is sure to happen, then p of s0 will be equal to 0. Or in other words, I can think of tossing of a coin as a binary source. So let me think of this as a coin. And by now we already know that a coin will be associated with a head, and the other face of this coin, we call this as tail. Now what I'll do is I'll take two such coins of same size, and what I'll do is I'll paste this head onto the opposite face right over here. And by doing that, whenever I toss this coin, I'll be getting only head. In fact, we can call this as biased coin. Here we call this as biased because in fact you toss this coin any number of times, it only lands on head. So what I can say is this coin is biased to head, but whereas earlier it was a fair coin. So probability of a sure event equal to 1 if it is about to happen, then also h of s will be equal to 0. So the entropy or the information conveyed by a Shor event will be equal to 0. So now when can I have this value h of s at its maximum? I can have this maximum only when, again, I'll be considering my binary source S0 and S1. If the coin is fair enough such that whenever I toss this, there are equal chances of this coin landing on head as well as landing on tail. Or in other words, probability of S0 in this case, if it's equal to 1 out of 2 cases, or probability of S1 is equal to 1 out of 2 cases, only when these two symbols are equally likely to occur, or in other words, equiprobable. When both the instances are equally probable to occur, only then I can have this h of s to reach its maximum value. So what is that maximum value in this case? So let me substitute it. I equal to 1 m, and here m is equal to 2, pi log to the base 2, 1 by pi. So here if I substitute the value of pi, I'll have half log to the base 2 1 divided by 1 by 2 plus half log to the base 2 1 divided by 1 by 2, and I can move this 2 onto my numerator such that I'll get it as log to the base 2 of 2. And by now we already know that log to the base 2 of 2 is equal to 1, so I can remove this, and all I will be left out with is half plus half, that which is equal to 1. So the amount of information conveyed by this sort of event, wherein I am having two symbols that which are probable, it conveys information that which is equal to 1 bit per symbol. So if I were to plot all the three scenarios, I can think of this as scenario number 1, wherein we had considered an impossible event such that its probability is equal to 0, followed by scenario number 2, wherein we had considered an Shor event, and third, equiprobable event. So let me draw a graph out of this. So let my x-axis represent probability and my y-axis represent entropy h of s, and mathematically we all know that probability can lie only between the range 0 to 1. If it is equal to 0, it's an impossible event. If probability is equal to 1, it's a Shor event. So thereby, if x-axis is representing my probability, it can have values in between 0 to 1. That's it. So probability equal to 0 will be in turn representing my scenario number 1, that which is impossible event. If probability equal to 1, then it's trying to represent a Shor event. So that is scenario number 2. And in both the cases, what will be the value of h of s? It's equal to 0. What the value of h of s that which we have got in both the cases? It's equal to 0. So thereby h of s for probability equal to 0 as well as h of s for value equal to 1, it's equal to 0. But whereas only if the probability of that event is equally likely to happen, p is equal to half. In other words, we are trying to talk about scenario number 3, and only during scenario number 3 I am getting h of s equal to 1, that which is the maximum value for a binary source. So h of s will reach its maximum value, that which is equal to 1 bit per symbol for a binary source. Here you got to pay attention of what kind of source is it. So it's a binary source. In fact, we'll end up with a plot that which looks like a bell-shaped curve, something like this. And just by looking at this plot, what I can say is entropy, it's a continuous function. Here you can see that there is no discontinuity in this curve. So thereby entropy is a continuous function of probability. So these are very first property. Entropy is a continuous function of probability. Now let's go through our second property of this entropy. And the second property is entropy is a symmetric function of its arguments. Or in other words, the entropy of a system is same irrespective of the order in which the symbols are arranged in its list. So if I think of a binary source that which has its source alphabet M containing two symbols S0 and S1, and it doesn't matter whether M is equal to S0 comma S1 or whether M is equal to S1 and S0. It doesn't matter in what order the symbols are arranged, and hence entropy is a symmetric function of its arguments. So this is about the second property of entropy. In our next tutorial, we'll be going through upper bound on entropy property. If you are having any queries, please put it in the comment section. Thanks for watching.